I'm not even at 8 frames a minute. And here's my current load. You see what my CPU total is? 21%. Do you see what my GPU is? 29%. What's wrong with this picture, Mr. Xplane? Mr. Austin Myers, what's wrong with this picture? 7 frames a second, driving 3 monitors. And that's the performance you're seeing. I got a little bit of overhead, wouldn't you say? So, again, CPU temperatures well below the mean, certainly not throttling. CPU total 23%. I'm not interested in powers. I'm not interested in generic memory. My core, the load is 31% on my GPU, and here are my freaking settings. So you tell me what in the freak is going on. Less than 8 frames a second. And yes, this is Ortho4XP. So what? You see anything getting maxed? How about 18% load on the CPU? How about GPU load 33%? Any ideas, guys? You see it. You saw my settings. You tell me. Yeah, it looks beautiful at 7.2 frames a second. It looks gorgeous. Oh, I think we just hit 8 frames a second. Oh, we're down to 6 frames a second. How about that? Somehow something doesn't correspond, wouldn't you say? CPU load under 30%. GPU load 49%. So, anybody got any answers? I sure would love to hear them. Now, if we load this same scenario with yeah, if I load this in the same scenario with a single monitor, I'm pretty good to go. How's that for a slideshow? I would love to know what is taking that performance, and we're just going to bring out the task manager to add insult to injury. We hit 33% load. And we'll leave those temperatures up there so you can see 31 degrees. So, anybody got any ideas? I'm pretty disgusted, to tell you the truth. Mr. Austin Myers, I am pretty disgusted. We got an i7 6700K and a GTX 1080, and we're getting less than 8 frames a second, less than 23% CPU usage, and less than 40%, less than 55% GPU load. Sure is pretty for a slideshow. Yes, indeedy. Just loving it to pieces. This is something to show off to my friends and family. Less than 7 frames a second. Let's pull that little puppy back up again. Less than 8 frames a second. And I'm at 32 degrees. Core package is at 42 max. CPU load is 20%. GPU load 45 maybe. Just say I got a little bit of overhead, folks. Yes, indeedy. Mr. Austin Myers. Less than 8 frames a second, driving 3 monitors. Now, I'd be happy to listen to any suggestions as to what's going on here, but I don't know. Yeah, Just loving it. I think maybe it might be time to go back to P3D. As many hours and months, let's see, November, December, January, February, March. December, January, February, March. 5 months I've invested in this. And this is what I get. The release version of Xplane. Can you explain, Mr. Myers? Can you explain why we're getting that? With these settings? I'll turn off VSync. What the hell? Big difference, right? Well, I think I've proved my point. It's a shabby flight to my home in Flat Lake, Kentucky. How we doing? We could tweak up the EGT. Wow, look, we just hit 8. And our CPU is just screaming at 47 degrees centigrade. Yep, definitely temperature driven throttling on that CPU. Goodness me, 25% utilization. And goodness me, GPU core 34%. Well, well, well. It's a beautiful slideshow. Beautiful slideshow. Okay, well, you know what? You know, just for scientific purposes, what we're going to do is we're going to go back. You see the data, you see the performance. We're going to go back and change things here. We're going to kill the left screen, and we're going to kill the right screen. And now what do we see? $29 to $30. 22% load on the CPU and 33% load on the GPU. but it's pretty. It'll work for streaming. $26 on one monitor. Yeah, it's got a lot of problems, doesn't it? Where did my hardware monitor go? Let's see. Where did that HW monitor go? So where did they go? I don't see it running anywhere. Well, the hell with it. "31 frames a second. 117 miles from my goal, and I ain't there. Well, we'll just go ahead and call it quits here. Not a happy camper, as you might say. Y'all take care. I wish you better luck than I've had, and take care of yourselves and those around you.